If you ever wanted to build fast, modern and scalable e-commerce store, today is the day. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get your Magento 2 store running on the cloud in just a few minutes. And with Hiva Themes, now officially open source as of November 10th, 2025, there has never been a better time to start. In this video, we're going step by step from registering your Cloudways account, spinning up a fresh server with Magento 2 pre-installed, and configuring everything you need behind the scenes, including Hiva, all the way to installing Hiva and transforming your store into lightning fast modern shopping experience. So whether you're launching your first online store, migrating from an old theme, or just curious how powered Magento can be when paired with cloud hosting, stick around. By the end of this video, you will have a fully deployed Magento 2 store in the cloud, ready for development, customization, and real-world growth. Let's get started. Before we will start our tutorial, please make sure to subscribe to this channel so you will be notified for the upcoming tutorials on this channel. And as always, all the links and discounts that are going to be used for this video tutorial are going to be listed in the description below this video. Make sure to check Cloudways links because you will get extra 50% off for the first 3 months of usage of your Cloudways hosting account. On the Cloudways website, let's click Start Free in order to create a new account with Cloudways. For this, we have to pre-populate first name, last name. Also, we have to provide an email so we can get registration information and a password. Also, we can pick whether we are an agency and how much we're planning to spend with hosting, and the promo code that I'm leaving in the description below this video. And let's click Sign Up. We have to verify an email, and on the inbox I have an email from Cloudways with a link to activate my account. And I will also need to provide a phone number as part of the account verification, and I will receive a 6-digit code that I can enter on the Verify Your Phone Number screen and click Verify. On the Get Started page, we have 2 options to choose from. First one is a 3 days free trial, and it allows to explore Cloudways hosting capabilities without providing a payment method. And second one is full access. For this, we have to provide card billing address and payment method in order to proceed. And as a bonus, we can get 50% off. I will go ahead with the Start Free Trial, and Start Free Trial will give me 3 days free trial and 50% off for 3 months plus 50 free migrations if you will decide to do so. Cloudways support team is really open to helping and providing support when you migrate your Magento store from other cloud hosting providers to Cloudways. For the server creation, I will have to fill in the form that will help me and the Cloudways hosting provider to configure server for my needs. First of all, I would like to select a platform that is Magento. And the latest version is 2.4.8, plus it comes with OpenSearch as a search engine. Then I have to provide my website application name. I will go ahead and type Magento 2. Server name is going to be Magento 2 server, and my project is going to be Magento project. As we can see, we have additional information saying that Magento 2.4.8 requires a server of 4 GB or higher to meet the performance requirements. Magento system requirements page says that we need at least 2 GB of RAM. However, Cloudways suggests that we have at least 4 GB of RAM. And from my experience, the optimal setting for RAM and Magento 2 application on production is between 8 and 16 GB. 8 GB is a minimum and 16 GB is optimal for running a Magento store. The next setting is application stack. So we can choose whether we would like to run on hybrid stack or lightning stack. My preference is to run lightning stack and adjust if the business requirements require to do so. So we can use Nginx setup with additional caching to speed up and provide extra layer of built-in security. For the server, I always select DigitalOcean because I didn't get experience with the other tools, and AWS is just a bit expensive as well as Cloudways. And as we can see, we cannot select AWS and Google Cloud as a free trial. So I usually go with DigitalOcean. It's the most optimal, cheapest solution when it comes to setting up Magento 2 environments. And for the server type, in the free tier we can only choose basic, however, there are two other options like general purpose and CPU optimized. Usually, when it comes to Cloudways and all services are running on a single server, it's best to select CPU optimized for all the processes that are running on that server, plus 16 gigabytes of RAM for the production server to provide best user experience. For this tutorial, we're going to go ahead with the basic 4 gigabytes of RAM, and we can also choose premium or standard, and I will go ahead and use premium option of memory. And I also would like to choose a location that is closest to my user's location. That is going to be London. We can also review hourly rate and monthly rate, and simply by clicking Launch Now, we can start this process of creating new server. And once the server is created, it takes approximately 7 to 10 minutes. The application that will be installed on that server will be configured for our needs. Before we continue, I want to quickly highlight why I'm using Cloudways for this tutorial. If you are building a Magento 2 store, Cloudways is one of the easiest and most reliable ways to get up and running fast. With Cloudways, you don't need to deal with complex server configurations or DevOps. You simply pick your cloud provider, choose your server size, and in just a few clicks you get fully optimized Magento 2 environment ready to go. They handle all the heavy lifting behind the scenes: automated backups, free SSL, built-in caching with Redis, optimal Elasticsearch or OpenSearch, PHP FPM tuning, and real-time monitoring. Everything is pre-configured to give your store great performance right out of the box. What I really like is how flexible it is. You get full SSH, SFTP access, one-click staging, vertical scaling when you have traffic growth, and a clean dashboard that makes managing your server surprisingly simple. So if you are launching a new Magento store, migrating an existing one, or just want a smoother hosting experience, Cloudways is a fantastic option. I will leave the link below if you want to check it out. Let's get back to the tutorial. While we are waiting for the server to be created and configured for us, I would like to talk about Hiva. There is a recent announcement came from a Hiva company saying that starting from November 15th, 2025, Hiva SIEM is going to be open source. What it means is that we no longer need to purchase a license to use Hiva SIEM. And also it means that we can freely install Hiva SIEMs on our Magento 2 application. And this is what we're going to do. One of the requirements is that in order to get Hiva SIEMs installed on Magento application, we need to create a hiva.io account, and we need to get a license key for the packages.com in order to get license, and we will be able to run Composer commands. There was a comment from Vinay Koop, CTO of Hiva, saying that he will explain later why Hiva SIEMs is not going to be added to packages.org for us to freely install Hiva SIEMs packages. But as of now, what we have to do, we have to register on hiva.io website, and we have to request free license key. So let's go ahead to hiva.io website. Let's click create an account, and I'm going to create new account. Yes, by providing email, password, first, last name, country, and we can even sign up to a newsletter and create an account. Inside Hiva portal or customer account, let's go ahead to Hiva licenses, and there is a button called Get a free Hiva SIEM license key. and we need to provide domain. For the domain, we are going to use custom domain, and this is going to be a domain name of your production website once we will configure it on Cloudways hosting. And this domain name you can get from domain name service provider, such as GoDaddy, for instance, where you can configure domain name and get that name that you're going to use for Cloudways, for your production website, and for the Hiva SIM license key. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use shop.proncoconsulting.com domain name in order to configure it for my Cloudways Magento installation. And I will click Get Hiva SIM for free. As we can see, there is a note saying that only 5 free license keys can be added to an account. It should be more than enough if you would like to, if you are a developer building customization for a Hiva SIM, or if you are an agency, you could get 50 license keys per agency. All right, get Hiva SIMs for free button, and it creates a license key. And as we can see, we have a license key, and under Shop Composer credentials, we have 2 lines of Composer commands we have to execute. First line is responsible for adding a repository or packages.com URL as a repository of our Composer. And second one is authentication token that is going to be sent to my email. So if you are a non-technical person, what it means is that there are 2 commands that have to be executed in order for you to get access and to Hiva SIMs and install it, but I will show you later in the video. So you won't have any questions in relation to how to install Hiva for your Magento store. When the server is created, we have access to the server-related information such as SSH keys, master passwords, some additional monitoring capabilities, as well as the application that was created with the credentials such as application URL, admin panel, credentials for the admin panel, and so on. Let's go ahead and open this URL. And what we need as a next step is an IP that was created and assigned to our server. And this IP is going to be used, this public IP that can be found under Magento 2 server master credentials. This IP is going to be used to configure our domain name server, a record, for this domain name to be resolved to this particular server that we've just created. So let's go ahead and copy public IP, and I will navigate to DigitalOcean. This is a service that I use to host my DNS records. And inside DigitalOcean account, I have a domain that I would like to create a new record. It's the similar experience as GoDaddy or any other DNS service provider. So just for the reference, I will show you how I can do it in DigitalOcean, and you can do it with your preferred DNS service provider. So here I add a new record called A with the name shop, and as you can see, it shows me a resolved DNS name that is going to be created, shop.proncoconsulting.com. And it has to direct to the IP of the server we've just created. TTL is going to be 1 hour, and let's hit create record. The new record is created. It may take some time to propagate this IP and domain name across the world. However, the initial response will resolve this domain name to the IP, and the server will understand what website to load based on the domain name provided in the browser URL. Going back to our Magento installation, as we can see, we have a Magento default 248 installed with the default theme, and as we can see, we have this long URL that resolves to cloudwaysapps.com. So obviously it's not the domain we would like to serve to our customers, and we would like a user-friendly URL. And for this purpose, we've just linked domain name with the IP address of the application we've just created. And for the domain to be configured properly, we have to go ahead to the Cloudways My Applications. Select application we would like to change. In our case, it's Magento 2. And under Domain Management, we have this primary domain. And we can add a new domain by clicking Add Domain button. So let's go ahead and type shop.francoconsulting.com, and we can save changes. As you can see, we have a type of a domain marked as alias, and this is not our primary domain. The ideal scenario is when we have our primary domain, the one that is user-friendly and that is going to be served to our customers. So by clicking three dots and setting primary domain, we can configure our domain name that we've just used and created to be set as a primary domain for our Magento 2 application. Once the primary domain is set, we can go back to access details, and as we can see, application URL and admin panel URLs have been changed. And the important thing is that when we open this domain name, we will receive your connection to this site is not secure issue that is resolvable by adding a new SSL certificate to our domain name. But as we can see, it resolves to our new domain name, but the SSL issue has to be resolved first. So let's go ahead to the Magento 2 application management page. Under SSL certificate, we can use free SSL called Let's Encrypt. It's default SSL certificate provider. And here we can add a domain that we've just added. And click Add Domain. Additionally, let's provide an email address for SSL certificate and click Install Certificate. It should take no more than a couple of minutes in order to create new Let's Encrypt certificate and issue it for the server we've just requested. Let's get back to Hiva SIM installation. Once the SSL certificate is successfully installed, we can get access back to our master credentials for the server, and we can launch SSH terminal in order to get access to the server, and we can run required commands for the Hiva SIMs to be installed and configured. And inside the shell that was opened in a browser, we have to provide login credentials, and for this we can copy username and paste it here, and a password that is also available under master credentials. So I will copy password and paste it here and hit enter. So now I'm inside a server and I have to go to the applications directory in order to get access to my Magento 2 installation. So I can confirm installation by running bin magento -- version. And as we can see, we have Magento 2.4.8 version installed. Let's get back to our Composer credentials for Hiva licenses. And we have two steps to perform. First one is adding a new repository to our Composer configuration. And I pasted Composer config repositories command and hit enter. And second one, we have to provide a token that is sent to my email. So I will copy this command, but I will skip the token part because it's available on my inbox. And paste it here. So here I miss token. I will hit space and I will go to my email. Your Hiva license key for the shop.francoconsulting.com is here. And what I have to do, actually I can copy this command and paste it into the terminal. But since I already did it, I will just copy and paste token. I will actually paste the whole command. And the third command that I have to execute in order to install Hiva Sim is the composer require command that will download all required packages for my Magento 2 application. In addition to this, we have to get username and password for the authentication of other Magento related packages. And in order to do this, let's go ahead to Adobe website. Where I can create an account with Adobe by using Google Gmail. On the account, I have to go to my profile page and hit access keys. And here I can create new access key for shop.pronkoconsulting.com. The key name could be anything, but just for me to understand that this is a key pair for that shop, I will use this one. So username is this one, and password, let's copy password. It's a private key and paste it here. And the question is whether I want to store credentials in my aus.json. I hit yes. So future installations of Magento 2 modules or packages will be one step less in my installation process. After all packages were installed, we have to run the bin Magento setup upgrade command. This command will ensure that all modules were installed, configured correctly, so we can run our Magento 2 application with the new Hiva Sims installed with our Magento 2. And going back to our access details, the final step is to go to the admin panel, and we have to select our default theme to be non-empty, and the recommendation from Hiva official documentation for configuring Hiva theme is that it could be either Luma default theme or Hiva. However, for our purposes, we're going to use Hiva as a default theme. So to access admin panel, we can use credentials that are provided on this access details page. Username is the email that was used, and the password that I just copy and paste in order to access admin panel. And in Magento admin, let's go ahead and click content, configuration. This interesting small detail. Under Magento version 248, we also have a nice note saying Hiva Sim module version 1.4.0. Let's click edit for the global configuration. And for the applied theme, let's select Hiva default and hit save configuration. And this is how you can install Magento with Hiva themes on a cloud-based hosting server. And from now on, you can play with this Magento installation. You can install additional third-party Magento 2 extensions, or you can start developing your new e-commerce website and adding content such as products, customers, and so on to this new shop. If you have any questions related to this installation or cloud-based hosting provider or how to customize Magento, please let me know in the comments below. I will be more than happy to create a follow-up video and explain you in more detail.